What if Mordecai and Rigby were in Demon Slayer? What would these agents of chaos do? How would they fight Muzan and his demons? Obviously, they wouldn't be alone in this. So, would the Park crew be able to stop Muzan and his demons? After all, how did they end up in Demon Slayer? Look, Mordecai and Rigby had one simple job, watering Mr. Mallard's flowers which came from Japan. A simple task, but an important one. Important. After Mordecai and Rigby broke the jar that kept the flower alive, the flower withered in an instant, making them have to resort to yet another crazy solution. Just like talking to Skips to find out if there's any magical object capable of reviving Mallard's flower. But Skips says he can't help them this time. However, Muscle Man was nearby, and he knows a guy who can help with the flowers in time for Mordecai and Rigby to get them before Mallard does. With everyone gathered the next day, Mordecai and Rigby need to confess what happened to the flowers. This makes the park manager really mad, but help is on the way. Minutes before Mallard arrives, however, Muscle Man's friend opens an interdimensional portal that takes them to Japan, so they can pick new flowers for Mallard. Soon, everyone is sucked into the portal that takes them to Japan. And now, what will happen? Well, before I tell you, leave your like down below. It's important for you to hype up this video too, because it's insane and full of references. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on. I guarantee you won't want to miss the next videos on the channel. Now look, while Mordecai and Rigby fall into an isolated place, the other park employees land in different places scattered throughout Japan, all with a single goal: to find the flower for Mallard. However, Oni appears and soon attacks our favorite slackers. But luckily, they are saved by Kyojuro Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, basically Jiraiya. They find Rengoku extremely amazing and cool. Although Rengoku mistakes them for Oni, Rigby quickly shows that they are from another dimension, only wanting a flower, which is the blue spider lily. However, Rengoku says he doesn't know where to find that flower. Nevertheless, they need to be careful of the Oni. But both of them laugh at Rengoku, saying that Onis only existed in Japanese folklore, which makes them think they're in Japan decades in the past, begging Rengoku to protect them. If Rengoku doesn't help them, their boss will fire them. So, Rengoku makes them his disciples. Mordecai and Rigby quickly learn flame breathing. I would say in record time, especially because they learned Mortal Kondo's techniques in just a matter of seconds. With just a few days of training passing by, Mordecai and Rigby realize they can return at the exact moment they left their worlds with Mallard's flower. But they need to travel around Japan in search of this flower, especially as true Oni hunters, capable of dealing with the threats of that world. Soon they take the final selection exam to acquire the Sunstone and obtain their own Rinterins. They meet Tanjiro and fight alongside Machete Sharpening Forehead to defeat the Hand Demon, who is easily overcome by this trio. When they become full-fledged Demon Slayers, they embark on various missions around Japan, until they meet up again with Tanjiro and his friends on Mount Natagumo, where Mordecai and Rigby get separated, with Rigby helping Inosuke in the fight against the Spider Demon Father, and Mordecai helping Tanjiro in the fight against Rui. Thanks to this, Rui is defeated without Tomioka's help. And Tanjiro does not awaken the Hinokami Kagura, and notice that Shinobu and Kanao arrive earlier this time to meet Tanjiro, precisely because several demons were defeated thanks to Mordecai and Rigby. Even Zenitsu didn't need to be saved by Shinobu, exactly because the hunter was present. That's why Tomioka wouldn't be there to defend Nezuko from the Demon Slayers. So, to help his friend, Mordecai fights against Shinobu to protect Nezuko. However, Kanao is still chasing after the demon. But do you know who else helps defend Nezuko? That's right, my mom. Just kidding, it's Muscle Man, the one who helped Zenitsu in the battle against the spiders. Muscle Man is also a demon slayer, who was trained by none other than Sanemi. Yeah, who would have thought that Sanemi would train a goofball like Muscle Man? He must have really shown Sanemi how tough he is. With the arrival of Tomioka and Rigby, the demon slayers stop fighting. They take the three travelers from another era all the way to the Demon Slayer Corps. And do you know who they meet at the Demon Slayer Corps? My mother! No, just kidding, that's really not funny. Well, maybe just a little bit. The Demon Slayer staff at the park meet with High Five Ghost. He was getting answers from Kaguya about what they should do to get back home. Soon, he passes the information to his friends that they need to meet with Kibutsuji Muzan, the King of Demons, someone who is capable of taking them back home with the power of one of his thousands of demons. High Five Ghost and Muscle Man will cover an area with Sanami and Obanai, the Hashiras who trained them. Meanwhile, Mordecai and Rigby are with Rengoku on the Mugen train. On the train, Enmu puts the two slackers to sleep with his blood demon art. And guess what? It's pretty much impossible to wake those two up. So Mordecai and Rigby only wake up after Enmu is defeated. Attention otaku, you're living like an NPC. You wake up tired, procrastinate everything, and feel like trash at the end of the day. Another month drags on and nothing changes. Stop respawning into failure. Let me introduce you to my ultimate personal system for organization and productivity. It turns your routine into a personal growth RPG. You'll level up while having fun, earning coins and rewards for completed tasks. This system is based on methods used by CEOs and high-performance athletes like GTD, Eisenhower, Pomodoro, and much more. It's fun, it's addictive, and it works. Have you wasted too much time already? Click the link in the description and start leveling up your life as a true protagonist. When they see their master Rengoku fighting, Mordecai and Rigby notice that Akaza is extremely strong for Rengoku to handle alone. However, with the arrival of two more hunters, Akaza amps up his blood demon art and fights seriously with the goal of annihilating all the hunters present. Before Akaza could defeat our Chaos employees, they realize they need more power. So they run to the train car to look for something that could put them on equal footing with Akaza. But would they be able to find something capable of that? Even more so while Rengoku holds off Akaza. Well, unfortunately the canon event happens. Rengoku is stabbed in the chest by the House Demon and is now on the verge of death, with the House Demon fighting seriously and mocking Rengoku for having weak disciples. The House Demon has enough time before sunrise to kill Tanjiro and the others. However, as he delivers a fatal blow to our protagonist, a huge cloud of dust erupts. Something was blocking Akaza's attack. Not even the Oni could believe what he was seeing. Mordecai appears amidst the dust, blocking Akaza's attack with a deadly block. While Rengoku held back Akaza, Mordecai and Rigby went to get pants and styled their hair with the Nichirin to become capable of acquiring the power of Mortal Kondo. Mordecai and Rigby are literally invincible to attacks when they use the power of Mortal Kondo. Soon, the two with their newly unlocked powers quickly overwhelm Akaza in a wave of attacks and simultaneous combos. Finally, they decapitate the Oni at the start of the day. This makes Muzan extremely angry with the two hunters. However, Rengoku dies. This leaves the hunters extremely sad. But don't worry, as they take Rengoku's body to be buried, on the way they meet Skips. And you might think Skips can't bring the dead back to life. And yes, Skips can't, but he knows someone who can. When Mordecai and Rigby beg Skips to bring their master back, he summons Death for an arm wrestling match. This leaves Tanjiro and the others speechless. In the end, Skips defeats Death, bringing Rengoku back to life. Now dear viewers, let's take a break to talk about Benson's situation. See, Benson has spent several days unable to find a way to get back home. Especially since he's in the past. He thinks his friends have abandoned him. He resigns himself and decides to find a new job. He starts living a peaceful life without Mordecai and Rigby. He proves to be extremely professional and skilled at his job. Benson gets promoted and even finds a new crush with whom he is now absolutely in love. So, what can we expect from Benson in the story? Look, the hunters take Skips to the hunter's core. Yeah, the same one who was fighting the demons with the power gloves. He was holding them back by force. Instead, Mordecai and Rigby suggest coating the gloves with the same material as Nichirin, so Skips can completely crush the demons. In the entertainment district, after Uzui finishes off Daki, Yutaro appears and unleashes a barrage of attacks against the hunter. However, Mordecai and Rigby arrive in time to block the Oni's bloody attack. Soon, the pair split up, each helping to deal with one of the Oni siblings. In the end, they achieve victory amid the immense chaos of the entertainment district after the battle that completely destroyed the red light district. Benson, who was living a peaceful life managing the establishment in this district, finds the ones responsible for all the disturbance. Exactly. Mordecai and Rigby, complaining to both of them since they can't have a moment of peace in their lives without them ruining everything. Mordecai and Rigby try to explain the seriousness of the situation to Benson, but Benson isn't interested in getting involved in this craziness. However, when he sees his crush on the ground, dead, or rather decapitated, he decides to join the Oni Hunter's Corps so he won't be fooled anymore. Not by any Oni, exactly. His crush was none other than Daki, the Upper Moon 6. While Mordecai and Rigby were explaining to Benson how they would get back home right after finding the blue spider lily flower, Tanjiro overheard the conversation. He tells them where they can find this flower since it grows near Tanjiro's house on the mountain where he grew up, and to think that Muzan was so close to his goal when he passed by the Kamado house. Unbelievable, but instead of Mordecai and Rigby looking for the flower, Benson is the one who does the job so that no mistakes happen. Soon, because of Mordecai and Rigby's efforts, Zui, as a way to reward them, sends them to the Swordsmith village so they can enjoy a nice break at the hot springs. Even though there's no video game, they still enjoy the moment. Until they meet Mitsuri and Pairulito. Both had already become super friends. But look, Tanjiro and Nezuko didn't go to the Swordsmith village. But why? Notice that Tanjiro only damaged his sword in the fight against Gyutaro. And this time, since Mordecai supported Zui, Tanjiro didn't damage his sword. And he didn't even awaken the Slayer mark, not even the Hinokami Kagura. So, would this be a problem? That's what we're going to find out. Notice that Pairulito stays with the boys to enjoy the vacation together, but the village is invaded by the Upper Moons. But don't worry, Pairulito isn't defenseless. In fact, he had trained with Mitsuri. Becoming the master of the love breathing, Pairulito quickly decapitates Rantengo's clones while asking Mordecai and Rigby to help Mutiru, who was kicked out of the room. The two, who were left speechless, follow Pairulito's orders. While both were helping Mutiru in the battle against Kyoko, Pairulito was dealing with Zohakuten alone until Mitsuri arrived soon after Mordecai and Rigby arrived as well. They found the original clone of Rantengo and decapitated him, saving the Swordsmith village. Back at the Slayer Corps, all the park members were gathered, ready to go home. The only thing left was to find Muzan. However, the Demon King was arriving at the Slayer Corps, knowing that Benson has the blue spider lily, the flower he has been searching for. He learned this through Nezuko's eyes. After all, he has knowledge of everything that happens with each of his Onis. Kaguya has the gift of foresight. He calls for the Hashira training, and everyone improves their skills until Muzan arrives. When Muzan sends everyone to the Infinity Castle after falling into Kaguya's trap and being poisoned by Tamayo, Benson is the one who protects the blue spider lily against the thousands of Onis. Mordecai and Rigby fight alongside the Hashiras against Kokushibo. Meanwhile, Saochito and Pairulito help Obanai and Mitsuri defeat Nakimi. Musculos and Phantasmao are with Shinobu fighting against Doma, Upper Moon 2, Tanjiro, Tomioka, and Rengoku. They have the duty to search for Muzan throughout the entire Infinity Castle to exterminate him no matter what it takes. After the defeat of the Upper Moons, Muzan turns against the Hunters. Extremely furious with the park crew, Muzan knows there is no way to make them go back home. However, fear not. Saochito knows a magical method capable of such a feat. Muzan tries to turn them into Onis, but the crew's determination to return to the park is even stronger. Unfortunately, without the Slayer mark, great difficulties arise in the battle against the Demon King. However, the mark appears on Tanjiro as the battle goes on, but he hasn't trained this power. It doesn't become that useful for Tanjiro in this battle. Everyone gets exhausted fighting the Demon King, but before he puts his tentacles on the blue spider lily, Pensum manages to protect him, just barely, but he gets badly hurt. In his rage, Danson just says, "Mordecai and Rigby, if you don't eliminate Muzan, you're fired." The emotions of Mordecai and Rigby make both of them agents of chaos. Awaken your Slayer mark against Muzan. Soon, you'll be able to see through Muzan's attacks with the transparent world. Now, Mordecai and Rigby, Itai, they see Muzan as a video game boss, with attack patterns that can be deciphered. They destroy each of Muzan's vital organs, finally decapitating the Oni once and for all. After the battle, Skips performs a ritual to call his giant baby friends and with their powers help them get back home. Exactly at the precise moment when they were teleported to the interdimensional past. With the flowers in hand and in the vase, Mallard arrives to admire his newest acquisition worth millions of dollars, telling everyone in the park that this flower is extremely hard to find, and there are tales of warriors who searched for this flower for ages. He concluded that it's an excellent piece to decorate his office, but after taking the first step with the vase in his hands, Mallard slips and the vase breaks along with the flowers, crushing and ruining them. Everyone is in shock, and Mallard just ends the video by saying, "I'm rich, I'll just buy another one." If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button below and comment on the next character you want to see in the Demon Slayer universe. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see your comment come to life. I picked out this video for you to watch. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. I'll see you there, otaku.